A very good afternoon, everybody. Proceeding further with the syllabus, we would like to have a look on different forms of communication. In our previous section, we have already elaborated why communication is very important. Communication is to and fro of information, and it is very important for one to understand what the information is and process and give some response according to that. Then the complete communication is completed. Otherwise, it is a partial or incomplete communication. Now, proceeding with the forms of communication, all forms of communication can be categorized as either verbal or non-verbal. Both verbal and non-verbal communication can be either divided into vocal or non-vocal. Verbal communication involves using speech to exchange information with others, like when we are speaking to somebody. We usually communicate verbally in face to face conversations such as meetings, interviews, conferences, speeches, phone calls, and so on. Much of the communication that takes place between the two people is both verbal and non-verbal, that it is based on language and gestures. These things are very much important while we communicate. The gesture is very important and what expression which we are using. Verbal communication of the vocal category includes spoken language, while non-vocal verbal communication involves written communication, as well as communication that is transmitted through transmitted sign language, finger, spelling, and many other alternatives of verbal language. Now we are looking paraverbal, paralinguistic, and paralanguage features. Paralinguistic or paralanguage features are the aspects of spoken communication that do not involve words. They add emphasis or shapes of learning to what people say. Paralinguistic features accompany verbal communication and are the vocal signs beyond the basic verbal message. Paralinguistic elements in a person's speech convey meaning beyond the words and grammar used. Examples of paralinguistic features include pitch, rate, quality of voice, and amplitude. Other four forms of paralanguage can also include laughter or imitative speech, prosody, which is the rhythm, pattern, stress, rate, volume, inflection, intonation of person's speech, and is a form of paralanguage. So, whenever we speak, whenever we are going for a public speaking, all these things matter a lot of it. When we are speaking to somebody, the tone of the speech matters a lot, our expression. So, this is what it is covering the entire, including the amplitude, frequency, everything matters in paralinguistic language. Now, people express meaning, not just what they say in the way they say. The paralinguistic features employed by a speaker provide hint to the meaning, communicate the speaker's attributes, and convey their emotion. Paralinguistic features also alert the listener as to how to interpret the message. Many of these paralinguistic features are culturally coded and inherited in verbal communication, often used at subconscious level. Now let us have a look to the nonverbal communication. Nonverbal communication is a type of communication that employs gestures and body language. Now the term body language is sometimes used to denote nonverbal communication. Body language is the communication of personal feelings, emotions, attitude, thoughts through body movements such as gestures, postures, facial expressions, touch, smell, walking styles, positions, and others. These movements can be done in either consciously or involuntary. More often, they happen subconsciously and are accompanied or not accompanied by words. Now, these all things also cover in the personality development and represent the personality of a person. And communication overall is one of the most important factor while it is covering your personality. Now, there are basically three elements in any face-to-face communication. These three elements account differently for the meaning of message. Now, words count 7%, tone of the voice counts for 38%, and body language accounts for 55% of the message. Our body language and tone of the voice should be consistent with the words which we use. This is only possible when we say what we mean and say it rightly. Otherwise, we can confuse people and reduce prospect of getting our message across to be understood. Nonverbal communication can lead to misunderstanding, communication failure, and even conflict if the interlocutors are careless. Nonverbal communication includes postures and gestures, eye contact, orientation, presentation, looks, expressions of emotions. Now these things, entire thing covered people, People. This is what is all about the non-verbal communication, that how it is involving the different people. Now body language and kinesics are based on behavior pattern of non-verbal communication. Body language can actually contradict verbal communication and reveal our inner feelings about any particular person or topic, either intentionally or unintentionally. The way in which you fold your arms, cross your legs, sit, stand, walk, move your head, eyes, lips reveal that you may be thinking or feeling. For example, you may be sitting and conversing with a person. Suddenly, he leans forward and with both the arms clutches the chair. By doing so, he non-verbally communicates to you that he desires to the end of the meeting. Body language has set up new light of dynamics of the relationship. In this, words, body language speak more than the words. So these things matter a lot while we are communicating. In fact, the eye contact, eye gestures matters a lot of this. Now let us have a look to the hand gestures. Hand or arms are used by most of us to communicate our thoughts. People rub arms together, keep their arms closed, clench the fists. All these tell what the person has in the mind involuntarily. In a way that people non-verbally communicate positive expectations. Hand clenched together seems to be a confident gesture, as people who use it often smiling and sound happy. However, if the hands are clenched too tightly, it is indicative of frustration or hostile attitude. Now let us have a look to the eye gesture and facial expression. Now facial expressions by often when we look to somebody, by seeing the facial expression we can identify whether a person is happy or upset. So facial expression often is the most readily observable group of gestures. We focus our eyes on the face more often than on any other part of the body. And the expression we use here have widely expected meanings. Now if a prospect's eye are downcast and face turned away, you are being shut down. However, if mouth move, he is probably considering your presentation. Now in this eye gestures of yours reveal several seconds at a time and with a slight one-sided smile extending at least to nose level. He is weighing your proposal. Now it is only when you see eye to eye and another touch, smell and distance with another person that the real basis of communication can be established. Other forms of nonverbal communication include touch, smell and distance. The number of people in communication situation affects the use of nonverbal communication. The more the persons involved, the more complex and the use of understanding of nonverbal communication becomes. However, to decipher the nonverbal communication, it is important to see, interpret, and understand them holistically and in a context while identifying the different types of personality involved. This is what are the different forms of communication which we have: paraverbal, non-verbal, verbal communication, our body language, hands, gestures, eye, facial expression. So it is just not, communication is just not about the speaking. It is not only about the words. It is not only about the voice. It covers the entire signal that our body gives to somebody. Many times in our practical life, we give sign language. We start talking with somebody using the sign language. So overall, covering the entire thing, when we look to part, the full form of communication covers the entire thing. In our next chapter, we are going to look to the communication barriers.